Welcome to DES Trucks, where we run nothing but the best. In today's video, we got a Dodge owner. Well, I can't say Dodge anymore because it's no longer Dodge, but we got a Ram owner, and he's going to take our F-150 for a spirited drive, and he's going to give us his thoughts. Now, this is a 5.7 liter Hemi that he has, and we've got a 3.5 EcoBoost, second generation 3.5 EcoBoost, and we're going to drive the EcoBoost, and we'll have him drive and we'll share his thoughts. But anyway, see you guys inside the truck. All right, so inside the truck, and what are your thoughts so far? We only drove a couple miles.
I don't know, man. It's the 6-cylinder. I can't get with it. Even though it's a twin turbo, truck should be V8s.
Okay, well, we haven't driven it fast yet, and this is going to be a spirited drive, and this is good because I trust that you can do it. I've driven with you before. This is Big John, my stepdad. You showed me how to drive. I remember driving your Ram, and I was so nervous, and you told me, give it some gas, speed, see what it can do. And I remember, I remember how you used to drive, and I always wanted to feel the power of the Hemi, and I put the pedal down. It was just, it was scary because it was power. Yeah. You had a Bighorn back then, and it had power. So I know you can give it you do what needs to be done here. So.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, 10 speed. I think the Ram is an 8 speed, and we are in sport mode, 2-wheel drive.
Sounds good.
So even though it's a V6, it does sound, pretty decent.
Very responsive. I like that. I like the transmission, 10-speed. That shifts pretty good. I like the downshifts.
Try to talk real loud because it picks me up more than you.
Oh, okay.
So you gotta throw your voice a little bit because the microphone's weird. It only points at me. It doesn't point the other way for whatever reason.
Okay. Yeah, I think that if you, is there any way you can soup this up while I'm driving?
Not while you're driving, but if you ever wanted more power out of one of these engines, right now we're at 375 horsepower and 470 foot-pounds of torque. But you could tune this truck for a couple $100, less than $1,000, and you can pick up like 100 horsepower, 100 foot-pounds of torque or whatever.
Oh yeah? It's
very tunable. Like if you tune a naturally aspirated V8, you're only gonna get 15, 20 horse, 15, 20, minor 1 mpg. When you tune a 3.5 EcoBoost, you're gonna get 100. Then you can do the exhaust, and then you can do the air intake. The air intake doesn't add too much power, but you can do these things. If you took an EcoBoost and spent like $2,000 on it, you can gain some real power. So there's a lot you can do without going crazy and putting a blower or anything like that. You can just tune and,
I wonder if they have factory options or accessories that you could add on.
To the EcoBoost, they have Roush. They have some Roush stuff, and I think they have a Roush tune, and it's pretty much a similar thing where it adds some power, some good power. But because it's turbo, you can tune this and add serious, noticeable power compared to a V8, which you'd have to add another power adder into a V8 in order to really feel any, supercharger or whatever.
Okay, and this is a 3.5, right?
This is a 3.5, yep.
So, it sounds like a V8.
From the inside it does, from the outside it doesn't.
Right.
It is augmented sound. It's not real noise. That's some kind of stereo trick that's coming from the audio system.
Okay.
But it works good. It does the job.
Right.
People think it's real, so.
That's something new. Fake sound?
Yep, fake sound.
Wow.
So the best real way to feel a difference between the Hemi and the EcoBoost is to really feel what it's like from a dig. So if you do a pull on the highway, it's going to be similar, and the Ram might actually be a little better. Because if you think about it, like say we're going, I don't know, 60, 55, whatever, and you brought it up to 70, then it's going to be kind of like the Ram, I think. I don't know. We could try it and see if it's any different, if it feels like it does it better or whatever, but that's kind of where a V8 would excel, because that's tapping into your horsepower. This is only 375 horsepower. So this is only 375 horsepower, and the Ram is probably what, 400 horsepower?
395.
395, so almost 400. And that horsepower, you feel that on the top end when you're speeding on the highway a little more. If you're pulling from 60, 70, 80, 90 to more, you feel that V8 horsepower. So if anything would feel better than speed limit, I don't know. I never go past 80.
What?
Not
You
really.
never went past 80.
Not really. I mean, maybe 90 by mistake. But I feel like if we were racing trucks, I feel like if you had the Ram and I was in this, we were on the highway, we were doing pulls, we were already rolling, the Ram might win. It's got more horsepower.
Yeah,
You know?
it's a better response.
Yeah, you probably feel a little more kick
Yeah.
hitting it from the highway. Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. Now the thing is too though, you can, like I said, this is probably where the Ram's a little bit better, but you could tune this. You really can't tune the Ram too much without adding a power adder, because it's just a limitation of being a naturally aspirated engine. But now, is the Ram direct injected? Do you know?
I doubt it. No, it's not. I don't think it is.
So that's another thing. It's that holds it back again. If it's not direct injected, and then when an engine's not direct injected, it's not really worth adding a power adder. If you were talking 5.0, I feel like the 5.0 would feel better than the Ram because it's got a little more horsepower. It's got 400 foot-pounds of torque. I don't know what the Ram has for torque, but it's also direct injected.
470.
470?
Yeah.
That's what this has for torque. So I don't
450.
well, if it looking at the Ram, if it's got 400 horsepower, it probably has 400 foot-pounds of torque.
Well, it's 395, and I think it's maybe 14.
Okay, maybe.
14.
Yeah, it's probably pretty close to its horsepower. But the 5.0 V8's got like 420 foot-pounds of torque, and it's got 400 horsepower, and it's direct injected. If you supercharge that engine, you can make 700 horsepower. That direct injection really adds good power. You should come off and then get back on and do it that way. Do a pull that way.
Okay.
So that way you can see the acceleration. And that's one of the things I like about the Ford EcoBoost is that, you know, yeah, Ram might be quicker if you're already rolling 50. If you're doing 40 rolls, you're going 40 to 70 or 40 to 80. I wouldn't be surprised if the Ram was quicker. But when you're from a dig, I feel like the EcoBoost would leave the Ram behind and it wouldn't be able to catch up. You know, although it probably does have a higher top speed, or
I doubt it. I think this might have a higher top speed.
well, I think both of them are going to be governed. But as far as top speed, if they weren't governed, if they were just open, you got a little more horsepower. I don't know. You know, maybe that horsepower is going to bring the actual top speed up. But it's like they're both governed probably at about like 100 an hour or something. I don't know if this would go faster than 100.
You never tried?
I never really tried. I think it's governed, but I'm not sure.
Oh man, me and your brother were doing 100 years down to Arizona like it was nothing.
Really?
Well, at least 90.
Yeah, that's with the trailer.
Yeah.
That's a pretty impressive feat with the Hemi towing the trailer going 100 most of the time.
Well, 80.
Yeah.
Most of the time. We did 100 on the way back empty.
Oh, okay. How long did it take to get back?
2 days.
That's pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
That's straight shot.
Yes, sir. Straight shot.
Who helped you drive back?
Jacob nobody helped me. Well, Jacob, he stayed up to keep me up and navigated, played Mr. DJ or whatever, but I drove all the way.
So we'll see if we can do it here. It's kind of a lot of people, though.
Oh, I can't keep straight, can
I think you can.
Oh, yeah.
See, this is where it really excels. What do you think about the suspension and everything?
It could be sportier.
Yeah.
Maybe different tires. I don't know. The tire height might be a little bit higher than the Ram. But I don't know. I think the tire height is different.
Do you think the Ram rides a little better?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, they've got that new suspension. They've pretty much redesigned everything. And this stuff's kind of, when you're looking at suspension, you're talking back to 2014, 2015 when this kind of rolled off. So they do have a new truck launching, but that Ram's pretty new.
Yeah. Did you eat today?
Yeah, I did. The Ram's pretty new, and they have a coil spring in the rear. It's probably superior when you are not loaded.
And the airbag, optional airbag suspension.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can it dump if you got there? No.
I want to say you could get that kit maybe, or some kind of kit. That would be slick and nice.
So one of the issues is the truck's too fast. If anyone's ever in front of you, you just got too much power you'll be like tailgating if you ever.
This truck?
Yeah, this truck's quick. When you want to like do a pull, you can't have nobody in front of you, because you'll just it's just got power. Pretty good. You can hear the augmented sound. I wonder how that augmented sound works. I guess somehow it listens to the engine and reverberates sound somehow.
That's what it sounds like.
Sounds really pretty real to me.
Yeah, it sounds real to me too. I think it's an actual sound coming from the engine. The radio's not even on.
Well, there's an extra speaker somewhere. Somehow there's an extra speaker behind something somewhere to make it really sound like it's coming from the engine. And in order to get the augmented sound, I believe you have to get this high-end Bang & Olufsen sound system, and then it actually gives you the augmented artificial noise, whereas some of the lower 3.5 EcoBoost,
Oh yeah?
it won't give you that if you don't have the fancy radio.
So you have that option?
I do have the radio.
I don't know, Sean. It sounds like the engine.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It does sound like the engine. But the thing about this augmented sound stuff is when I'm speeding, and I don't mean anything crazy or reckless or anything, but when I'm going fast, just like, around town, giving it a little gas, it's not real dramatic. So if I go pretty quick up to 45 miles an hour, well, I'm not making a big scene. I'm not letting everybody know that the engine doesn't rev and make a lot of noise out the tailpipe and all that. it just kind of does it. You hear the turbos inside the truck, you hear the augmented sound, but outside you don't hear really anything.
No.
Which is good for me because I don't necessarily need to draw that kind of attention. I feel like if I were doing some of the stuff that I do in this truck, if a cop is near, won't say anything. He wouldn't notice.
Well, they can't notice the speed.
Maybe, but I'm not speeding. I'm just kind of getting up to whatever the speed limit is kind of quick.
Right.
I'm not going over the speed limit. Whereas if I was in something else and it made a lot of noise from the tailpipe, that might be more of a attention getter.
Right.
I don't know how loud. How loud is the Ram when you get on it?
It's pretty loud.
It's probably loud on the outside too, huh?
Yeah.
So that's something that you really don't have to worry. You see, the Ram probably makes real noise. You know?
Right.
Ram probably makes real noise.
That's not a speaker, man. That ain't no speaker.
Well, Donna's truck don't have it, and it literally sounds like just a little like whistling noise.
A little whistling noise?
Yeah. You hear like air. Her engine sounds like air.
We had 100.
Ooh.
Yeah, it can do 100.
It moves, huh?
Yeah. Actually, it might be faster than a Ram. How much you pay again for this?
This truck is $63,000, but I didn't buy it. I leased it. It was $550 a month, but I put down a chunk. I probably put down $4,000. I can't really remember, but I think I put down $4,000, and it's $550 a month. I paid it off. Paid it off a few months back. Oh. Definitely puts the power down. Pretty decent.
Yeah. I don't know. I might become a Ford fan in a minute.
What you should do is you should get off and then get back on. Like one of these ones where it catches you.
Right.
It catches you and then like it leaves you with the straightaway right back on.
That would have to be like Ross.
It could be. That's where it really shines. It gets by. Like when you're doing that, it's just getting by. The competitors, if you got a 6.2 GM, that's gonna be a good spot for that. But it's gonna be dramatic. Like when you're doing this, it's not dramatic. It's not. You could have done 9 or 8 mile. No.
Yeah, 9 miles better though.
Yeah, 9 miles good. But I remember when I had a V8, if I were going to get on it, it almost feels like something you shouldn't do because it's revving so high.
Not really.
No?
No. It's
well, I had a 6-liter Vortex, so it would be pretty dramatic if you try to speed it with that. It's like, and it's like not moving.
I likes this.
Yeah, but one thing you should know is how low the RPMs get when you're just cruising. You know, you're in what gear?
It's like 10.
You're in 10th gear and you're at like
18, 19.
1900 RPM. I can't see the gears.
Yeah, you have 10.
10th gear, but you get nice low RPMs, and it's just incredibly efficient. Like you can get, 20 on the highway.
Right.
You know, you can get more than that if you go slower, but
nice responsive steering.
one thing they could probably do is make a little bit nicer seats, but that'll probably happen next model change.
Yeah.
They're good enough for me. I'm not really that picky on the seats, but
No, you're not.
I mean,
I like the seats actually.
I don't have a problem with them. A lot of people, they're not really, the Lariat seats are not better than an XLT seats. They're leather, but they don't really feel better. When you get into the Platinum seats, they feel a lot better.
Oh, okay.
But the Lariat, if I'm in my wife's XLT or my Lariat, it's like, it could go one way or the other. You could choose either one. They're kind of similar. Just one's leather and one's cloth. Oh, forward loaded heavy. There's a silver one. Or that's white. Never mind. We'll see if we can get a little spot here. So when I raced that, what kind of car was that? Oh, it was a 6.7 Power Stroke. I put it in 4-wheel drive high, and I brake boosted it. So I revved it a little bit to get the turbo spooling.
Right.
And then I launched it, because if you don't put it in 4-wheel drive, you will roast the tires. If you launch it, if you brake boost it and everything and then launch it, it will burn rubber.
Well,
But if you just launch it, it shouldn't. But I mean, like, when you really want to get the most out of it, you kind of get the turbo spooled a little bit.
Okay.
And then you kind of put your foot down into it. So you just hold it down maybe like 1200 RPM, and then when you go, you take your foot off the brake and you put the gas. Not a whole lot, but it gets the turbos going. But I did that. But when you do that, you want to be in 4-wheel drive. All right, here we go.
This is faster than a Ram.
Is it?
I think so.
And that wasn't really a clean launch either.
No, it was just, it's dry, you know.
Well, like I say, you feel it when you're from a...
You think that's a speaker, an extra speaker that's making that sound?
I don't think it is, but that's what the specifications say. That was a big thing when we were building these, that it was coming out with augmented sound.
Wow.
But yeah, it doesn't sound, the V6 doesn't sound like that by itself, but it can. If you put an exhaust on it, it kind of sounds like that.
Okay.
But I like it the way it is. It sounds aggressive without the exhaust. And
pipe.
Right now, yeah, it's just a stock single pipe exhaust. But they make a nice true dual exhaust. The Raptor has a true dual exhaust, but you can get an aftermarket one. It don't sound, the one that you get aftermarket sounds good. The Raptor does not really sound good in my opinion. But the aftermarket Ford Racing dual exhaust. But you asked if they have Ford products, but Ford Racing does have products. They have exhausts for these. Some other products as well. They're pretty good. This engine can be built to have upwards of 900 horsepower. But you gotta change out pistons and stuff like that. But even so, it's only like, I think it's like a $4,000 or $5,000 build. Which is, 900 horse. That's just a core block. It's probably like a $10,000 to $15,000 build altogether, installed and done. But 900 horsepower. You know, if you swap the pistons and the rods.
The air on too?
The air is on. Wow. It does feel better with the air off as far as power.
Oh, okay.
Because without the AC compressor dragging. That's an old 5.4. You can hear it clicking.
Trusty V8.
I should have kept that old green truck. Because it didn't sound that bad. It wasn't rough like that. It was nicer than that.
Is it rusty?
It was a little bit rusty.
Yeah, you know.
I think 9 miles is a pretty good one. Now you can see what it's like with AC off, but we'll turn it off once we actually do that. Because there's no point in having...
We need to get on like 696 or even 75.
You think so?
This area is just too crowded, it seems like, this time of day on a Saturday.
That's the challenge with me doing some of my videos. No, someone's still in front. If he wasn't there. if that car wasn't there, but then someone's gonna be turning.
Well, we keep it straight, right? And go around and drop down, or
You could go around and see if you get the first spot
to go down.
to go down. Yeah.
Yeah, but it still looks like the traffic is so heavy.
Yeah. Traffic is definitely a nuisance.
Yeah.
I've had to do all my power pulls at night. Nobody.
That's the thing I think you might have to do.
Yeah.
Like later in the evening.
Well, if he turns, you kind of got it after he turns. I forgot to turn the AC. Whoa.
Man,
Whoa.
Ain't no governor on here.
It's not. How fast did we go?
It's past. It's like 110.
That maybe it.
See, you can't go that fast unless you like.
Yeah.
You know what? I wonder how's the traffic on the way out. Way going out.
I don't know. We could try it.
Man,
Let's try it.
that was past 100. That was past 100.
Wasn't it? That's
Yeah.
that crazy? Now, with the Ram, do you think it would be as easy to touch that speed, or?
It's easy to touch it, but I tell you what, that's it. That's all you're gonna get is 102.
With the Ram, really?
That's
It's
it.
governed.
Yeah,
It's governed.
102. Or maybe 104, but I know it cuts off after that. But I can still feel power. I don't know if it maintained the power after 110.
Well,
or if it was picking up.
when
even
I
more.
raced that guy, when I raced my buddy, Power Stroke Tech Talk,
Yeah.
we didn't know what was going to happen. And looking at the footage, you can hear the turbo picking up and picking up and picking up and picking up because
Right.
it was on the hood, and you just hear the turbo going, and I just kept pulling away
That's what I'm saying. It's like
from him. And he got a diesel, so.
the only thing I would do if I got an F-150 is get some new tires and rims.
Yeah.
Or get a performance tire rim out of the factory.
Does this make you actually want to look at an F-150?
It does, but then again, I'm thinking like parking in the back of the lot.
Right.
You know, is it really that serious? And then you can't get a lease at. I can't get a F-150 at $270 a month, not a 3.5.
No. Probably not.
Why?
Donna's
Why is that?
Donna's 2.7 is $350 a month.
See, I don't want to pay over 3.
She got an A plan. She got the best plan. I don't know how I couldn't imagine like having a $270 a month truck. I don't know how they do that. They must have been doing something special.
Yeah, well, I love it.
That's cheap.
I mean, even all the Rams I had, they didn't go over 350.
Well, this one's $550, and I put money down. But that's what I always hear when I talk to people with Dodge. They're like, "Oh, my lease is $100 a month." Yeah, that's there really wouldn't. He wouldn't be able to keep up with this truck with that. All right, so we're gonna find a more open spot and I'll touch base back in. So remember when I had that Chrysler LeBaron?
Yeah.
I used to drive so fast because that car had no governor, and you put it to the floor, it gives it what it's got until it blows. So you could go like 130 in that thing because it as fast as you can spin that engine is as fast as that car would go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I would come out here, go this way, and I would put it to the floor and try to go just as fast as I can. I would drive for an hour, just waiting until there's no traffic. And then I would just put it to the floor and just touch like 120, 130.
Here we go. See, the Trans
It's fast.
Yeah, it's like 106.
And then certain limits.
Yeah.
So I was watching some engineering stuff, and they did say that, yeah, it can go faster than that. But if you do, the aerodynamics on this truck is not that great for you to be going that fast.
Right.
So you're doing something that's not really, like, that nobody really should do. You shouldn't go 130, 140 in this truck because it's the shape of it. That's what they said.
Well, you look at the roof, you look at the side, the windows. It's not very. I mean, it's got aerodynamics to it, but it's not.
They said something about the air going under it,
Right.
lifting it. I don't know.
Because it's, all that weight. And you don't have air ducts or air vents or anything.
It's not low to the ground. The bottom of the vehicle is not engineered to.
No spoiler,
no downforce.
Yeah. It's like if you had a little spoiler that way,
Right.
They have them for the tailgate. I mean, the tonneau cover.
But yeah, in that Chrysler LeBaron, I used to go so fast, and I remember one time I sped by the state police so quick that there was just no way that they could have catch me, and they did not try to.
Did they let you go?
Oh, I mean, maybe he was sleeping, but I went by fast enough that he probably would have woke up.
Yeah, you didn't see him.
By the time I was going so fast that you couldn't see him. What is there to see? You're going 130.
Right. You ain't lying.
What are you gonna see? Boom! That was a cop,
Right.
and I'm gone. That was crazy. I really should have been doing YouTube back then because I was doing some wild stuff. Buying cars on Craigslist. Remember that time I brought home the black Infinity?
Yeah. I thought you were gonna keep it.
Well, you know the story behind it.
Engine?
No, it needed an engine, but I picked it up from like Sterling Heights, and I drove it home, and the guy drove like my car home or something, or he drove his car, and then he took me back to his house to get my car.
Right.
And it's like, who does stuff like nowadays? No one does that. Nowadays, no one's doing that. Like, that's just too much. And he took me home, and he had his whole family. He had an Infinity, and he was talking about starting an Infinity Club. He's talking about all this crazy stuff, and it's like, what? He had his family. He was drinking and driving. He was like, hey, I gotta stop. He got like a couple beers and was drinking and driving on the way home, and I'm just in the car like, what is going on, man?
Man, do you mind if I stop at Culver's?
Go ahead. Yeah, we can stop it. We can stop there.
All right, so we're back. What did you think?
I actually love the F-150. I actually love it. But the price range, I don't think that it's going to match my pockets. I think I have to stick with the Ram. If I could get a 350 like this for $320 a month, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it's hard to find one of these for less than $300 a month, but anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching DS Trucks, where we run nothing but the best. See you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Over and out.